What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Uh, I was just about to come on anyway, and then the basketball game I was watching got interrupted to show this what my title is showing right now, and I'll go into a little of what I've seen and what I'm seeing so far. What they're reporting. Clearly, this report just came out, so obviously it's not going to be a lot of information right now, but I'm knowing that at some point more information will be made available. The reason why I'm even talking about this again is because it goes to it raises some questions for me, just like it would raise questions for anybody. It would raise questions for anybody who sees anything like this because um, for those who don't know, they're saying that there was a shooting inside of Lakewood Church. And the term that they used was active shooter in Lakewood Church. Now, from what I'm seeing on the news report, they have evacuated. I saw a lot of people standing outside. Lakewood Church is a popular church in the city of Houston. For those who may not be in Houston, it's run by Pastor Joel Osteen and his wife. And y'all may know who this guy is once I kind of give you a little history on him. And the building that Lakewood Church currently is in used to be the Summit where the Houston Rockets play basketball. It's the same building where the Rockets won the 2 championships back in the mid 90s. That building was bought out and converted into Lakewood Church, which is, like I say, run by Joel Osteen. Um, it's huge. I know when the Summit was around, it held about 15,000 people as far as a basketball game. So I'm assuming that capacity would be the same or even more now because when the basketball arena was there, then the court took up a lot of the space. Now you can put people on that floor and have people in the seats. So I'm assuming they holding probably 20,000 in there now at minimum. But um, Joel Osteen has been running the church for a while. But a news report came out just now that said that somebody was shooting inside of Lakewood Church. Now, we know we live in America. We in America, y'all. The United States of America, home of, this is what they say, home of the free. What is it? The home of the free, the land of the brave? Or is it the land of the free, home of the brave? I don't know what order it goes in, but it's the free, the home of the free, the brave, and the home of the mass shootings. No nation has more mass shooting incidents than the United States of America. No nation. And in fact, the United States of America probably has more mass shootings in a calendar year or just in totality than some nations combined. So the question you would have to ask, even when you look at what's going on in Lakewood, and hopefully, prayerfully, nobody has been hurt, nobody's been killed. That's number one. Hopefully, nobody's been. They're just reporting that there was shooting inside of the church. But when I see things like this, particularly at churches, because we know the mass shootings they popped off in grocery stores, they popped off in nightclubs, they popped off at schools. These are like schools and churches are like the main, but mainly schools are like number one on the list. Um, it always raises in my mind the question of security measures. And I know what some of y'all might be thinking, some of y'all what some of y'all might say. Some of y'all might say, well, man, it don't matter how much security somebody want to do it, they gonna find out a way to do it. They gonna get it, they gonna do it. Well, you may be right to an extent, but I don't know what the security procedures are at Lakewood. I don't. So I'm not going to speculate how they secure that building. But I would hope, I would assume and hope that a building, a church that size, you would think that with 20,000 people on average coming in there every Sunday, and I don't even know if they have multiple services. They may have multiple services. They may have two, 3 services where maybe the number may be more than that. I don't know. Somebody enlighten me. But it would seem pretty logical to make sure that extreme security measures are in place when you have a building that size and when you have that many people coming in and you just don't know who is who. So you would think that they would have security in some form, and something even more so, even as simple as metal detectors, the one or something you can walk through. You know, you would think that. I don't know. Maybe if it's somebody um, that's in the chat that's from H-Town that goes or has been to Lakewood, maybe y'all can enlighten us on if you just walk right in, or if they actually do have some type of security measure that someone may have been able to breach to get inside of there with a gun, with a weapon. But I don't believe that there are a couple. I don't believe that anywhere you go, you should have to worry about something like that, right? That's just the logical mind of what I think. What I think anybody would think. But unfortunately, we know we don't live in that kind of world. You know, when you send your children to school, you send your children to school with the thought in mind that I'm dropping my children off in a safe space where there will be adult supervision, where there will be multiple people that are keeping an eye on my child, and I don't have to worry about that. I can go to work, do what I got to do to make money to support my family. Then at 3 o'clock, I can come pick my son or daughter up, and we can go home. That's what you would think. You would think that when you go to a church service to worship your higher power, whatever name you call them, whatever religion you subscribe to, wherever you go, whoever, when you go to worship God, when you go to worship Jehovah, when you go to worship Allah, when you go to worship Yahweh, whoever, whatever name you call him by, you would think that you can go in there, close your eyes, say your prayer, and not have to worry about hearing something pop, 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 popping off while you in there. So a lot of religious people, not all, but well, I won't say a lot. Let me check myself on that. Some religious people will have the thought in mind that, well, when I walk into this building, when I walk into this edifice, this is God's house. I don't have to worry about that because I'm in God's house and I'm safe. Nothing like that can happen to me because I'm in God's house. Well, that sounds good on the surface. It sounds good, but the reality is that's how you think if you spooky. That's how you think if you are not if you don't have understanding of how life works and in the mind of people and the free will of individuals walking around us every day, that you don't know what's going on in their head. That's just not a realistic way to think. It's a spooky way to think. And history has already worked against that. History has already debunked that type of thought process to feel like, well, I can just go in there and no. Because when Dylan Roof walked in that church and killed those shot those black people in that church that time, they were praying with their eyes closed, and he just pulled out a weapon. Nobody checked him before he came in. Nobody searched him. There was no metal detector. He just walked. He was able to walk in with a bag. And the reality is, we just live in a time where you just should not be able to do that. Well, come on, man. That's church, man. Man, see, y'all getting too. No, man, that's church, man. People shouldn't have to come in there and the women have to get checked and worried. And no, man, y'all checking a little. Yeah, everybody. Shout out to the Nation of Islam. And trust and believe, I'm not making this into a conversation that is being disrespectful. Absolutely not. Please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm saying from a standpoint of bringing awareness, of making us think to say, well, maybe these types of precautions have to be taken. I'm not making mockery at all. And those who know me, y'all know I'm not. But what I'm saying is, for people who may have a problem with a check procedure, a search procedure, anywhere you go, I don't care if you go into the club. Matter of fact, especially when you go into the club, because when you go into the club, that is one of the most likely places you would think that something like that could pop off. And it doesn't have to pop off in the form of a mass shooter, some crazy fool that decided he gonna come shoot everybody up. It don't have to pop off in that form. It could pop off in the form of somebody stepped on somebody's shoe, somebody got into it behind a female or something like that. Somebody got drunk and started talking. Somebody bumped somebody's car, and then blah, 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 blah. Catch you on outside. Don't have to happen in the club, but it does happen in the club. So to prevent it from happening in the club, a lot of clubs will pat you down. Now, my logic is this. If you have a nightclub, which again, we're basing it on likelihood. So most nightclubs will pat you down, warn you down, check you, search you, whatever. So, man, look, man, y'all might say what they're supposed to do. If the club can do it, and it's ratchet in the club, so that's maybe why the club do it. I believe the church should do it as well. I believe the church should this time take a page out of the nightclub's book. Take a page out of the club's book. Because in this day and age, we can't assume that anywhere is safe. And it doesn't matter. I still haven't seen a report. They interrupted the program to show this. It wouldn't matter if they say, well, one person got grazed. Nobody's hurt, nobody's dead. One guy got grazed. If just hypothetically, if they would say that's too much, it's still too much. It's still too much. Because again, there are certain places, should be everywhere, but there are certain places that absolutely you should not have to worry about that. So I said shout out to the Nation of Islam because I want to shout out the nation for being so far ahead, as we say, so far ahead of the game on this type of mindset, because for as long as I've been attending meetings at the Nation of Islam, there's never been a time that I walked through the doors where I didn't get pulled to the side and patted down and searched and checked. This goes for men, women, and children. This goes for the ministers themselves at the church. The minister who's gonna speak at the rostrum of the mosque. When he walks into the building, he gets searched. Everybody gets searched. And there are people who over the years have taken offense to that. I've had conversations with people who said, I don't go there because I don't like them searching me. I don't like them checking me. Well, oh, I ain't got nothing on me. Well, it's not for you. It's not, put it like this. It's for you, but it's not because of you. If you're not a person who's trying to smuggle a pistol into the mosque, or you're not a person who's got it in your mind, you want to come in and blast everybody, then it's just, you're just part of the procedure. You're just part of the protocol that you have to adhere to. But the totality of the search is in protection, in defense of you, of your family, of your children, of your peace of mind and your safety. Because I don't care where you at. It doesn't matter where you at. We all going to see a character that doesn't really look safe. How many of y'all from the hood have caught the bus? I was a bus baby. I was a bus child. I caught the metro bus all the time growing up. And sometimes when you're on the metro bus, there's a few characters on the bus that you got to keep your eye on. I've been on airplanes where situations is I'm on a plane and just all of a sudden I got to wake up because somebody is getting loud. I'm like, keep my eye on this guy. I've been at the basketball court. Got to keep my eye on that guy. He's really, really weird. The same thing applies if you were at a worship service, church, mosque, synagogue, wherever you at, the cathedral, wherever you are. There are times where somebody sitting across from you or sitting next to you is kind of twitchy. I'm like, okay. But if I know for a fact, well, he kind of different in here. He acting kind of funny. But one thing I know for a fact, he ain't got no weapon. So whatever's going to happen, it's going to be some hand-to-hand going down. If he get me hand-to-hand, then congratulations. But I know for a fact, we're not going to hear no pop, 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 pop. So a church the size of Lakewood, and again, please, somebody, if anybody that's from the H have been to Lakewood or go to Lakewood, let me know if they have a procedure in place that monitors the people who come in terms of seeing if they got weapons, metal detector, whatever. Let me know if there's security, because that's another thing. There's security outside of the mosque. There's security long before you get to the door at the mosque. Some places may have armed security. Lakewood got the money. They could hire HPD. I'm trying to see if anybody would say, anybody in here has ever been to Lakewood. Has anybody in this chat ever been to Lakewood? I'm looking to see if anybody in here has ever been, because I want to know what the security protocol is at Lakewood. Now, I'll get into a little of the history with Osteen because I see a few of y'all speaking on that. But, and a lot of people have had issues with Osteen. I've had issues with him in terms of some of his actions or some of his inactions, some of the things that he has not done for the community in times of need, which is the absolute duty of a man in his position. There's been many things that I rapped about Joel Osteen. I've said things in my rhymes about Joel Osteen that pointed out some of the crap that he's done. That being said, listen to me good. That being said, we should still not rejoice or celebrate or make light of or make mockery of the incident or any incident that involves somebody coming into that building and shooting on many levels. Why? Because number one, if you have a problem with Joel Osteen, if you don't like Joel Osteen, cool. Like I say, to me, he has certain things on his track record that would make me understand why you wouldn't like him. I get it. But that has nothing to do with innocent people that are coming into that building just to worship God. That has nothing to do with men, women, elderly women, little children, teenagers, babies that are brought into that building that could potentially be put in danger by somebody that comes in there, lose their mind and flips out and start busting. We have to separate the two. We can't go, yeah, that's what he get. We say, well, that's what Joel Osteen get. Joel Osteen might not be the one to get shot. Might be some innocent child, God forbid. So we have to separate whatever feelings we have about his practices from the big picture and the concept of public safety in a building where people are, for the most part, legitimately coming for their spiritual enhancement. Regardless of what you think, get out of the, oh man, that's some BS. No. People are coming because they want to be there. That's their house of worship that they're comfortable going to, and they are sincerely coming to be fed spiritually in that building. Don't celebrate if some fool running there busing. Because guess what? As much negative feelings that I have towards Osteen and his wife and all that other stuff there, I got friends that go to that church. I've had friends that have visited that church. I have friends that are members of that church. Straight up friend. So I'm not going to be wishing any negative things to happen in a building where out of 20,000 people every Sunday, I'm sure that out of the 20,000 people that go to this church every Sunday, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, I'm gonna shoot small, at least 200. I'm sure if I went to Osteen's church, I would see at least 200 people that I know. At least out of 20,000. So I wouldn't want nothing to happen in that building and then I find out that 4 or 5 or 10 of my friends got caught up in that. So we have to separate our feelings for the individual who runs the church from looking at the potential dangerous situation that could impact people you know and people you don't know. People who don't deserve or would not deserve that kind of fate. Y'all feel what I'm saying? We got to compartmentalize that. So if I see a report that was a shooting inside a Lakewood church, hey man, lean in, put your antennas up. Now, I saw where a lot of people were standing on the outside. A lot of people were outside. A lot of people were out. They did say they actually evacuated some people to a local high school called Lamar High School out here in Houston. But I haven't heard about any serious issues that people describe hearing shots inside the church. Haven't heard about anything, going on in terms of they have a person, anybody's been hit. It was just a firecracker. Yeah, I haven't heard anything like that. But that's what the report is. Now all the police out there now, it looked like, hold on, they got the 911 call. Yeah, they just played a little of a 911 call. I couldn't really understand what a lot was being said, but it looked like the whole police station is at the church now. But I think that whether this turns out to be something that's just super serious, it is super serious, but hopefully, God willing, nobody got hurt. Nobody, not one person, right? Hopefully. And we can use this antenna raising moment as a moment to question what we should be doing in our movements and what we should, how we should do, how we should conduct our places of worship, wherever they may be. Some of y'all don't get into all that. I know y'all ain't got to tell me. And I don't go to the church. The church is within me, and I don't. All right, I get it. I understand. Y'all ain't got to. We ain't got to go down that rabbit hole. But for those who do, and again, even for those who don't, y'all know people that do. Your mama might get up and still go to church. Maybe it's time to start rethinking and questioning the security measures or the lack of security. Because I'll go back to the club. Everybody from the hood, raise your hand. Everybody from the hood, raise your hand. If you frequent a particular club, right? If you frequent a particular club and you like going to that club, but then all of a sudden, every week, it's a fight at the club or it's a shooting at the club, you're going to stop going to that. Well, I mean, you would think that average person would stop going to that club. I would. So in a case of a church or a school, if you have your children, okay, so y'all didn't raise y'all hand when I asked you how many of y'all was from the hood. How many of y'all got children? Can I get a raise your hand or something? If you have a child and your child is at a particular school, this ain't the club. You might go to the club 4 or 5 times before you say, man, it's getting too wild. I can't go to this spot no more. We got to find somewhere else to go. If it's one incident where some shooting popped off at your child's school, would your child still be enrolled in that school the next day? How many of us would still send our child back to that school? There might be some that say, well, it's just a one-time thing. A smart person snatching a child out of school instantly. That's how I look at it with the church. It's like, nah, man, certain places is one hit a quitter. All places should be. I don't know why we keep going to the club, but we do. That's just the hood side of us. I'm not gonna stay on here long, man. I'm gonna read some of y'all's comments, then I'm gonna move around. Because one thing I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna keep going and talking about something that I don't have full information on. I'm just basically talking about what I saw on the news report. We'll go into some of the things that Joel Osteen has done, while a lot of people don't like him, but clearly a lot of people still do, because it ain't stopping that church from being packed. The Hurricane Harvey situation took place in 2017. That's when Harvey hit, right? And in 2017, people were being evacuated from their homes and didn't have anywhere to go. And Joel Osteen closed his church and be like, oh, y'all ain't coming in here. Y'all got me messed up. And he took a lot of criticism for that. And in my opinion, he deserved all the criticism he got for that. Because how are you, this international world figure, world evangelist, preacher, reverend, whatever label, pastor, that's what he is, Pastor Joel Osteen, who speaks about love and being a servant of the people, which is what you're supposed to do. And you made a concerted effort to go out of your way to let it be known, we ain't opening our door. Y'all can't come in here. Y'all cannot come into a building that I own, even though it holds 20,000 people. We can get 20,000 people. Nope, not in here. Y'all figure it out. Meanwhile, many little bitty local churches that had nowhere near the resources that Lakewood has, nowhere near the room that Lakewood has, nowhere near the stability of structure that Lakewood has. Many of those churches opened their doors and like, y'all come on in. Y'all come on in. Did the best they could with what they had. Why couldn't you do it, Pastor Osteen? You travel the world spreading your message of love and light, but when it's time to exemplify that, you left the people stuck out. That's a red flag. But it wasn't enough to deter or to discourage attendance and membership, clearly, because that was coming up on 7 years ago. and he's still thriving. But it's people that don't like that. So I don't know who the shooter was. I don't know who, if there was a shooter. This is what they're reporting. I haven't heard about anybody being in custody or none of that. Like I say, somebody could pop the firecracker off in the building. But sometimes people are somewhere upset about stuff like that. You know how these shooters go. You know how these school shooters and church shooters and mass shooters. It's a buildup, and it could be somebody that's been just in the cut for the longest. Like, man, I hate this dude. And then today was the day. Joseph says, I'm not from the hood and no children. Well, even if you're not, I was saying that as an example because certain things I was saying, people from the hood could instantly relate to. But you can relate to, you know, somebody that does have children. I can't say you know somebody from the hood, but the last thing you want when you drop your people off in what you believe to be a safe environment, the last thing you want is to get a phone call. Hey man, they were shooting up at the school. What? Walaikum salam, Ali Bum. So Blast Beat says an off-duty cop killed a female shooter. Is that at Lakewood? A shooter is down. Okay. A shooter is down. Okay. I just saw that. So a shooter is down. Good looking out, Blast Beat. They just showed the average attendance. My bad. Lakewood has an average attendance of 45,000. So I'm assuming that's combined two services. 45,000 people a week, right? There has to be two services because I don't think that 45,000 people can fit inside that building at one time. So that I'm assuming that's between two services. That's a lot of lives, man. That's a lot of lives to not have the right kind of security measures in place. We stand on subject, y'all, so please don't ask me any questions that don't have anything to do with what the title says. Right, right. High Tower, I just saw that. Has an average of 45,000. Yeah, I just saw that. So that's a lot of lives, man. That's a lot of lives, man. Halfstein says, God bless. Stay safe, people. Alyssa says, if you read Acts 7:48, it tells you the Most High dwelleth not in the temple made by the hands of men. And every time somebody spoke to God in the book, they were outside on the mountaintop. Yeah, we know. And that's what I was saying earlier. We know that, like I say, people are going to come and say, well, man, the brick and mortar is not the church. Brick and mortar is not the mosque. The church is the people. And yeah, you know, and that's true. That's 100% true. I'm not debating with anybody on that. But I know that a good church with people in that church with the right intentions still can serve as a place of that people can go to for spiritual enlightenment and spiritual recharging. Because even though we are the house of God, we are intended to be the house of God in his creation. If we don't have the guidance, if we don't have the starting points to even know how to get to develop that God inside of us, then we'll be wandering around leaning to our own understanding. So at some point, that would have to be for the people who were just not revealed. Because if you talk about the men of God who on mountaintops, yeah, they receive revelation directly from the Creator. If the men that we call prophets, it don't go like that for everybody. Now God speaks to us, but that direct assignment that he may give a prophet, he may not give to me, or he may not give to you. So we got to go get what we need to get from somebody who got it, from somebody who got it and got it. So there is a place for the church, for the building, if the right people are in the building. But if you got snakes and fakes and frauds and serpents and pedophiles and all these different types of folks in the building, then yeah, get the hell out of that building. Peep the game. You got people gossiping and doing all kind of shady stuff. People stealing the money and all that. Yeah, I got a song called Bad Religion. Go listen to that song. That's what I'm talking about. But we don't want to condemn every house of worship because of the ones that we saw, because of the Osteens of the world and what's my guy name, man? What's my dude name? Peter Popoff. And we don't want to condemn everybody because there are a lot of people that have good intentions and they get a bad rap. It's like police officers, it's like cops. For the most part, we don't trust police. We don't like police. We go the other way when we see police because of the reputation of police on a whole. But we have sense enough to know that there are a lot of good police officers that are trying to respect that badge and trying to be service to the people in the way that they were sworn in to be. So the bad cops put a black eye on everybody unless we say, nah, let's distinguish these things on an individual basis. And that's why we got to do the bad, shady, wicked, dirty pastors and preachers and ministers. They can put a black eye on everybody because it's a minister somewhere in a little bitty church that ain't got but 40 people coming every week that's doing a wonderful job somewhere. He's in the community. He's transforming the lives of people who are having problems. He's getting people off dope. He's exposing people to the reality of God. He's not money hungry. He barely getting by himself. He's doing the best he can. We can't lump people like that in the group with these prosperity preachers, these slick, money hungry preachers that's telling you you ain't gonna get a blessing unless you bless me. Can't lump everybody in the same boat. But I will say, for those who that label applies to, y'all are right. You're right. Y'all are right. Can't argue. And it makes it bad for the ones that's trying to do right. Peter Popoff, man. Hey, man, it was Peter Popoff. Who was selling the miracle spring water? That wasn't Peter Popoff, was it? Which one of them was selling? Which one of them sells the miracle spring water where you can? He'll sell you some water if you order this miracle spring water. And another one was selling the miracle handkerchief. You can get a little handkerchief If you order this handkerchief, you're going to get your blessings going to be off the chain. See, it's that type of stuff, man. Peter Popoff was selling the spring water. Peter was popping off, boy. He was popping off. Man, whatever, Alyssa. Alyssa, you know you bought some of that spring water. You know you bought it. Y'all made me drink my spring water. I'm just playing. Some of y'all got that handkerchief in the house right now. I bet some of y'all got it. But Alyssa say, no, okay, not me. But see, security is very important, y'all, because you don't know what 45 out of 45,000 people, you don't know what people got in their mind, man. You don't know what the person sitting next to you is thinking. You don't know. You don't know what that person has been through and what's been building up inside of them. Because clearly, you got to have a lot. What's up, Cheryl? Cheryl Hudson. You got to have a lot of, you got to be unstable. Because the nerve that it takes to bring a weapon into a place of worship, and we don't know what the motive was. We don't know if she was just coming in there to just randomly just do what the mass shooters do, just kill innocent people who have nothing to do with her problem or his problem. Or we don't know if she was coming for Osteen himself. We don't know. But one thing I do know, you don't want to be the one in the cross fire. You coming in there to find God, to find a higher power, and you got to deal with this. Come on, man. Jovan says we can't prevent or try to obstruct something that's out of our control. The world is full of cruelty. There's nothing we can do entirely. Well, I kind of agree with the second part of your statement. The world is full of cruelty. And you said there's nothing we can do entirely. Nobody can do everything, but everybody can do something. That's not mine. I didn't make that up. I heard somebody say that. No one person can do everything, but everyone can do something. So, yeah, you're not going to stop the evil in this world overnight, but there are things that are in our control. That's the part I didn't agree with. You said we can't prevent or try to obstruct something that's out of our control. Yes, we can. We can. That's what security is. That's what precautionary measures are, meaning that it's not guaranteed something gonna happen, but you put measures in place that will prevent, could prevent, or possibly serve as a deterrent. Because I'm gonna give you an example, nephew. If there's a predator, you got a predator, right? This dude is just he's trying to prey on the weak, innocent people, right? And there's a female that lives in the same building he lives in, but he watches her and studies her and finds out that this woman lives alone. He peeps her routine. Every day he sees her leave. Every day he sees her come back at night by herself. She's always home. She doesn't get any visitors, right? He's studied that. Now he knows that, oh, I can get her. Ain't no man around. She don't get no visitors, blah, 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 blah. But if that same woman, she could still live by herself. But every day or so, her boyfriend comes over. Two of her brothers come through every now and then. Her big brothers come by. They stand outside, they talk to her. He sees this male presence, or they live with her. She lived with a guy. She lived with her older brothers. They are roommates. She got a male roommate. That's a deterrent. That ain't to say a guy wouldn't try anyway once if he's out of his mind, but for the most part, a dude like that or a person like that, they gonna move, nah, I can't get her. I can't get her. I gotta find another target, an easier target. Now, this is unintentional, but the same principle applies when you talk about putting security in place. Because if a person who knows that this is what I'm gonna try to do, this is my, I'm gonna go in, I'm a bust, I'm just gonna start flipping out and busting. Then when you get there, they say, whoa, they got 20 police on security over there every day. Whoa, they got security. Nah, I ain't gonna go. They're gonna find somewhere else to go. Unless he's just all the way gone, and he might still try. But for the most part, bro, security is put in place in hopes that you don't have to need it. That's the purpose, to secure. Like, you put security in place. That's like for everybody who packs a gun, not everybody, but for people who pack guns, for responsible gun owners, right? I have friends that are responsible gun owners. They'll tell you, hey man, I never want to have to use my gun. I don't ever want to have to use it. My point to this, because of the first thing I thought about when I saw the report, I was just like, what kind of security do they have? I still am hoping that somebody that's been to Lakewood is in this chat that could tell me what the security procedure is. I just want to know, do they have security? I would be shocked. I would be shocked. This is Texas' largest church by average attendance. I just saw that on TV. So if Texas's largest church by average attendance, I need to know the security man. Do people just walk into Lakewood? Because if you got 45,000 people a week attending your service, and y'all are passing a collection plate, I'm sure it's not a collection plate. They probably pay now. The church probably taking Cash App and PayPal and credit card swiping. This is the new day. The collection plate is still in little churches. So from 45,000 people a week, what kind of money? I would show the average revenue that's generated by Lakewood on a weekly basis. Show the average revenue, show the weekly intake. And the reason why I'm saying that is because whatever the weekly intake, y'all think they make $1 million a week? Am I overshooting or undershooting? I'm saying I'm undershooting. Do y'all think that Lakewood Church makes $1 million a week in collections? Right? I'm asking, yes or no? Over or under $1 million a week. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, tithes. Over or under $1 million a week. I'm going with over. Stephen Laster says they have HPD presence there, especially in all of the garage entrances as well as close by the front entrance. However, and not to be biased, it does still feel laid back at times when visiting. Hey, Stephen, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate this comment because this is what I needed to know. Stephen says they have HPD presence there in the garages, in the garage entrances, as well as close by the front entrance area. However, it feels laid back. Okay, next question for you, Stephen. What about the actual entrance into the building when people are walking in to go find seats or whatever? What happens? Do you just walk in? Because police presence, cool, but police presence can be there. But if the police ain't, if there's no metal detectors or nothing to search or to check people, the police can be right here, and I can just walk right past them with my pistol on me. So do the people just walk right into the building? Because if the people just walk right into the building, then the police presence is kind of being put to waste. It's kind of a waste. Mr. Urban World says in 2017, they made 89 million. Okay, so 2017 was the year that Hurricane Harvey hit, and he didn't want to let the people in the church. Now he came back and did it later once everybody pressured him. That's the same year. So he made 89 million that year. But the reason I was asking about the weekly intake was because before Stephen gave me his comment, I was wondering, okay, well, how much of that could be used for metal detectors? How much of that could be used for security? It wouldn't hurt your pocket, Mr. Osteen. You still got the jet, you still got the plane and the mansions and all that. You still got all that. But if you would like to keep that going, well, I guess it don't matter because. But I would like to secure. Look, this is the definition of securing the bag. This is the epitome. You want to secure your bag, then it will make sense to have security. Tax-free. Come on, Alyssa. Wow. Blundermus, I just saw it said 45,000 a week in attendance. So I'm assuming that's 2 services because I don't think they can hold 45 at one time in that building. I'm assuming that's 2 services per day. Got to be. They got to be doing 2 services a day. I have not been in there since the Houston Rockets played in there. Last time I was in that building, I was watching a basketball game. Or maybe at a concert. I don't know. I'm reading y'all's comments right now, y'all. Steven says, yes, you can just walk in, whether you're going on the floor or upstairs. That's a problem. That's a problem. So you wasting security, you wasting HPD. If through all that, you got them standing at the garages going, come on, oh, y'all come on. They in the garages. You see the key words you use, bro. You said police presence. Now, I'm the one that just got through saying that security and police presence and things can serve as a deterrent. And I'm sure for the most part it does, but golly, if I go one time, if I got that in my mind to do that, to flip out and start busting inside the building, it's like a burglar. A burglar, before he breaks into a place, he's going to do what's called case. You know, I say, I got to case the joint. He got to case the joint. And what that means, he's going to go in advance of him actually breaking into the place, and he's just going to check things out. He's just going to check the scene and see, okay, see, they don't really lock that back. Oh, they don't turn that alarm on. Okay, we can see. He's seeing how he can get in later. So people do the same thing. You go to Lakewood, then all of a sudden, when you get there, you see the police positioned throughout the place. Okay, they got a cop here, they got a cop there. But then when you get to the door, I just walk right in. No metal detector, nothing. I just walk right in. So now the crazy person is like, okay, next time, oh yeah, I can bring my pistol in here. I can sneak my weapon in here. I can bring a knife in here and I can just, I can get 4 or 5 people before they get me. Because they cased it, they already saw. It's lax. Because even the people who, okay, they're saying a child was shot. See, that's what I'm saying. A child got shot. Okay. A child got shot, y'all. All right, cool. See, even the people who put the security in place, is something in their mind that says, well, man, it's the church, man. Yeah, we'll put a few security out there, but man, people are coming to worship, man. But now a child's been shot. They just said a child's been shot. A child and the shooter. So far, that's what they're saying. So, to my original point, early on when I started this live, of all the people that they get, now you got an innocent little child that's been shot. Hopefully, the child is going to be okay. An innocent, pretty much baby has been shot that should not even have to, the child or the parent, that was not even in their mind when they was getting up today, putting on church clothes, driving to laughing and talking. The last thing that they was thinking in their mind, that when we leave here today, my child gonna have to be in the hospital because somebody shot my child in the church. See? Some sick people out here, man. And we have to jump ahead as much as we can of the sick people, as much as we can. Because it's impossible to stop everything. I agree with nephew. I agree with Joe. You're not gonna stop everything, but you got to do the best you can to set up the circumstances to set up the prevention measures, the measures of prevention. I do the best you can. So you can just walk right in Lakewood, a place where 45,000 lives are on the line.
I want to assure everyone that everyone is at work doing their job. Let's come together on this beautiful day, a day that we're experiencing a tragedy. Let's hug our loved ones. When you leave here today, go hug your loved ones and say a prayer for those that are involved. Say a prayer for those officers. that had to drop this suspect. They're suffering right now. And all these other first responders that I'm surrounded by.
All right, that's the new mayor of Houston. Now, I got to be careful. He's saying, go hug your loved ones. Everybody, go hug your loved ones on this beautiful day where this tragedy just popped. Look, man, that's generic. It's a bad situation, but I ain't gonna lie. Even in a bad situation, I want to hear leaders moving forward. And maybe it's too soon to process, but I want to hear leaders speaking about now what and locking something in. Like we're gonna make sure this don't happen no more. Tell me that. Whether you may not be able to fulfill that, first thing that needs to happen, they need to put metal detectors in that building. All that money, y'all ain't got no metal detectors? Come on, man. So basically, that means that you could walk inside Lakewood with a bomb strapped to your body. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. You can walk inside Lakewood. If what Stephen is saying is true, they have people there, but you can just walk by. Hey, good morning. Good morning, officer. I can have my jacket on with a bomb strapped to my body, a low-key bomb. It ain't bulging all out where it's noticeable. I can be in there. And when I get ready, when the time is right, I can set it off the side of there. They make too much money to not install better security measures in that place. Let me see what Chief Fenner is saying.
Condition at our local hospital. That was a 57-year-old man who didn't have anything to do with it, I don't think. Was shot in the leg. He's seeking treatment in the hospital. So let's all pray for each and every one of them.
And in reality, yeah, man, we do need to pray for the people, man. You know, don't get it twisted. But we also need to pray for better safety measures. Pray for future prevention. Don't be spooky and just pray that this don't happen. Yeah, you pray that it don't happen no more, but you got to also put the things in place to do your best to not make it happen no more, to not let it happen no more. Now listen, my ceiling fan ain't even on. I don't know what rattling you hearing. My ceiling fan is not even on. But you know what? It may be, I got a little squeaky thing going on with my desk, though. I'm sorry. Blundermus Prime, was the shooter a legal firearms owner? I have no idea, but I want to ask you what's the purpose of that question? Like, why does that matter? I'm not saying it in a disrespectful way. I'm just curious to know that if the shooter was a legal firearm, if the shooter has a legal registered firearm, explain to me what the purpose of that question is for. Because I'm just saying, whether your firearm is legally registered or not, you don't got the right to come in and start just popping people. And I don't think that's what you're saying. I just want to know why you asked that. Prayer is powerful. KHOU confirmed that a young victim was shot and one of the shooters, a female, was also shot. One of the shooters. So are they saying there's multiple? Suspect had a small child with her. Child was off. So it's saying that the child that was shot was actually with the shooter. Man, crazy. All right, man. I'm gonna let y'all make it, man. I was gonna come on and do a live, but this wasn't what I had planned on doing. Y'all be safe, man. See, hold on. See, Steven dropping bomb. Steven says the issue was always concerning to me. Take that H out my name, Steve. Because at times they have groups that will come on to Lakewood to protest. Sometimes even disrupting the live service. That's why my wife and I stopped going. Yeah, people are not happy, man. People don't be happy with Osteen and a lot of these prosperity preachers that seem to present these superficial messages and images and don't seem to be, in this my opinion, don't seem to be immersed deeply enough in public service, in service of the people, as their resources would dictate that they would be able to be. But that's just me. Phantom Face Final. People are fed up with the ways of the world. K getting soft on us. 2018, he was spitting vicious anti-Osteen bar. But see, listen, you gotta listen to what I said. This was about the situation that happened. We know who Osteen is, those of us that know. But I don't want to spend a lot of time expressing my personal feelings about Osteen in the middle of a tragic situation. It's kind of petty to me. You feel what I'm saying? The tension is not, even though this is his building, this is on his watch. So it will be on his resume. And I'm the kind of dude, later on, I'll come out with it and say something later. I may shoot a slug at him later behind it. But in the midst of this, when you don't know if people are dead, when you don't know, family members are traumatized, it ain't the time and place to do that now. You feel me? I hope you feel where I'm coming from. So if I would have come on here just blasting Osteen, my focus is on, wow, somebody ran up in his church shooting. Is everybody all right? And my anger is more directed at Osteen, not from the past crap that we know he did, but the lack of security. It's like, dude, what are you doing? That's where I'm at with it. So, nah, it ain't that your big brother getting soft. It's not that. It's just that, time and place for certain things, I mean, that would be like if a family member passed away and everybody was at the house, all the family was at the house because this family member may have just tragically passed away. And then I just go to his mother and say, hey, but you still got that $100 you owe me, huh? She might owe you $100, but it's not right now. They got to have video surveillance at Osteen, right? They got to. They got to be able to go to some footage, man. I just read what the homie 01Q2 just said. They got to have some. So don't kick a demon when he's down. Unless you ain't gonna let me make it today, huh? Well, it's not about not kicking the demon. It's about respecting any potential victims to where the demon's still around. We can deal with the demon. But I don't want to make the focus. I want to make sure that we think outside of even this situation, just even this situation, to bring light to our own situations. Churches around the world, around America, churches in different neighborhoods, schools, to ramp up the awareness and the mindset to say, whoa, okay. Because we see this type of stuff. I see this type of stuff all the time on social media, on the news, but can't remember an incident like this in Houston, in my city. So, you suffer from the until it hits home syndrome. So now it's not about not kicking the demon when he's down. We got to think about the people. He's I'm gonna be honest with you. He's lightweight. In my view, he's lightweight. He's sugar water to me. But I do care about people who have been or will be or may be potentially deceived by the demon. I was waiting for one more answer before I left. That's right. Don't wish death on anyone. Peace and love, man, to the family. We'll go out on a positive note, man. I see Lindsay up in this thing. Omar Slim. Omar Slim says, trust God, and you too can drive a BMW and live in a house on a hill. That's actually true. But you trust God to get those things for you the right way, not slicking people and all that type of stuff. All right, man. Well, that's what I'm saying, Blonimus. I wasn't mentioning the cameras because as far as stopping, it's for the very thing you said, But I guess if they got the person, they got them. Alyssa says, how are they innocent people if they're being led by a demon? Because there's a scripture that says the devil would deceive the whole world. See, if you're being deceived, that means that you are not complicit in the trickery, in the activity of that demon. You're being tricked. So if I'm being tricked, then I'm innocent. I don't have nothing to do with it. I'm not a willing participant. So if there's a mother that brings her young son to the church, and in her mind, she's like, man, I'm coming for some spiritual enlightenment. I'm coming to find God. I'm coming to be a servant. I'm coming to learn. But the preacher is a demon, and he's dropping these slick seeds of deception and messing over these people and leading them the wrong way. The people are innocent. You can't lump them in and say, Yeah, they in on it too. It's their fault. Nah, they are innocent. Now, if I know, if I'm the deacon at the church and I'm in there, yeah, how much did we hustle them out of this week, Pastor? Where's my cut? I'm complicit. If I'm coming to the church because I know the preacher's a hustler then I'm complicit. But yeah, if you're being led by a demon, but you're being tricked, you can't blame the people for that. These people coming because they trying to be saved, right? And Jesus did come back with a sword dripping with blood. But whose blood was on that sword? Jesus came in them churches, right? He came in those places of worship and was lighting up them preachers. See, there's a time that they're going to get their judgment. It's a time that the people are going to get their judgment. But what happens is God ain't going to condemn you for something you had a lack of knowledge of. Would that be fair? What kind of God would do that? I'm following this man, doing everything he's telling me to do, and I honestly, sincerely had no clue that he was scamming. I'm not going to be judged for that. I can possibly get in trouble for it in this world, because if he gets snatched up and arrested behind they're going to pull me in too. But all the while, I'm like, well, I didn't know. And hopefully your lawyer can help you prove that. But that's not always how it goes. So somebody tell you, hey man, I need you to help me to move some of these supplies. I'm going to take them from the church to this warehouse I got. Okay, yeah, sure, Pastor, I'll help you. Yeah, come on. And we loading up the stuff. We put it on the back of the truck. And we take it to the warehouse. And then 2 weeks later, on the news, the preacher gets busted because those wasn't supplies. Those was dead bodies. And you helped him move the dead bodies. But you didn't know they was dead bodies. But you can't prove that you didn't know. You in jail with him. But you was innocent. That's why you got to study the best you can. You don't move fast with people these days. I don't care how good they sound. Don't move fast. Don't move fast. You got to study. All right, y'all. I appreciate the love, man. Hey, Maynard, shout out to your daughter, man. Much love. I appreciate the love. Blessings to you and your daughter. I'll catch y'all later on, man. Peace.